Okay, so picture this. You're in Mexico City back in 1972,
Yeah.
and there's this film project
Okay.
that is just so bizarre,
Mhm.
so ambitious.
Right.
It feels like it came straight out of like a really vivid, uh, maybe a little bit unhinged dream.
Yeah.
We're talking about Alejandro Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain.
It's remarkable how even just that, like that initial premise
Yeah.
kind of hints at all the layers that we're going to be like peeling back and exploring today.
Yeah.
This wasn't just a movie, it was like an event,
Yeah.
a happening
Right.
designed to challenge how we see things.
Totally. And the guy behind it, all this Jodorowsky,
Yeah.
a Chilean dude,
Right.
just bursting with creative energy.
Yeah.
This guy was a novelist, a mime, a playwright.
Wow.
He like did it all.
It's true.
But he also had this reputation
Yeah.
for being super confrontational.
Uh-huh.
Like he loved these theatrical stunts.
Okay.
And his films were just like shattering conventions left and right.
Right.
Like his earlier work, Fondo y Les.
Now, Fondo y Liz, that didn't exactly get a warm reception when it came out, did it?
Oh, no, not at all.
Sources say it was like condemned,
yeah.
at a film festival.
Yeah, they branded it as like
Yeah.
corrosive and corrupting.
Right.
I mean, barely even got released in Mexico.
I see.
But then,
Yeah.
then came El Topo,
Okay.
his second film,
Right.
and everything changed.
Oh, wow. How so?
Suddenly you had these like secret midnight screenings.
Uh-huh.
This like cult following just popped up.
Wow.
People were watching it over and over again.
Interesting.
It was like this whole new underground thing.
It really was like a shift in cinema.
Totally.
And from what we've gathered from the sources,
Yeah.
the Holy Mountain, it really builds on that.
Yeah.
That sense of like the unexpected,
Right.
and the unconventional that El Topo started.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for this deep dive, what we're going to do is like really immerse ourselves
Yeah.
in the core ideas and the context surrounding the Holy Mountain.
Okay.
Our mission, if you will,
I like it.
is to like figure out why this film became a cult classic.
Right.
What are the big themes it's grappling with and what
Yeah.
makes it so unique?
Those are great questions to ask going into this.
Totally.
Yeah.
So where do we even begin with something like this?
Well, I think a good place to start would be like, what was that initial spark, that
Yeah.
core inspiration that kind of set this crazy vision in motion?
Right. So what got Jodorowsky thinking about this?
Well, it seems like he was really inspired by some pretty heavy spiritual texts.
Okay.
The Ascent of Mount Carmel by St. John of the Cross
Mm-hmm.
and Mount Analog by René Damal.
Interesting. And what are those about?
So both of these books, they explore these like really difficult spiritual journeys
Okay.
toward enlightenment,
Okay.
which is a theme you see a lot in the film, like
Yeah.
visually echoed in the climb up the holy mountain and like the changes that the characters go through.
Let's see. So right from the beginning,
Yeah.
we're like way beyond your typical movie story here.
Absolutely. It's not just about telling a story. It's about this deep and sometimes pretty unsettling
Yeah.
spiritual quest.
It's interesting, too, how the money for this quest came together.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Like the financial backing.
Yeah.
It's almost as weird as the film itself.
Oh, really?
So Alan Klein,
Okay.
who you might know as the manager for the Rolling Stones and the Beatles.
Wow. Big names.
Yeah, huge names.
Okay.
He put forward $750,000
For this.
for this film.
Wow. Okay.
Now, the total budget was $1.5 million.
All right.
So they were still in the hole,
Yeah.
But that initial investment,
Yeah.
it made it the biggest Mexican film production at the time.
Wow. That's a big deal.
I mean, talk about an act of faith.
It really makes you think about the kind of presence that Jodorowsky must have had even back then,
Yeah.
to be able to get that much support
Right.
for something so risky and so different.
Absolutely. And then like the very first scene they filmed,
Yeah.
forget your normal opening shots.
Okay.
We're talking Our Lady of Montserrat,
Okay.
this abandoned Baroque building in Mexico City.
Uh-huh.
And it's this crazy mix of like neon colors
Wow.
and strange esoteric sounds
Interesting.
and these super choreographed movements.
Okay, so it's less like a movie and more like...
It's like performance art almost.
Right. And
Yeah.
that makes sense given Jodorowsky's background, right?
Totally.
Like with the mime and the avant-garde theater.
Yeah.
Always pushing the limits,
Always pushing the limits of like what you can do on stage.
Exactly.
And then there's this crazy story from that first day of shooting.
Okay, what happened?
That is just wild.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So they had this actor,
Huh?
Horacio Salinas,
Okay.
practically naked,
Oh, wow. Okay.
crawling around with a plaster Jesus.
Okay.
And he puts it on this altar, all reverently.
Right.
And then there's this other character dressed as a bishop who wakes up next to another plaster Jesus.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, and he gets like super protective of it.
Oh, wow.
And then the scene ends with Salinas like eating the face of the plaster Christ.
Oh, my gosh.
I know it's intense.
Yeah.
But Jodorowsky actually had an interesting take on it.
Oh, really? What did he say?
He said it was supposed to represent the sublime miracle of the unknown.
Okay.
Like the actor didn't know what the plaster was made of.
Yeah.
Just like we don't really understand the universe.
Yeah.
That's
a really interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. And that wasn't even all the drama from the first day.
Really? There was more?
Oh, yeah. They got kicked out of like 3 different locations.
Oh, wow.
And someone even threatened to kill them.
Really?
Yeah. Not exactly a smooth start.
Not at all. It really shows you the kind of like controversy that followed Jodorowsky around.
Totally. So we've got this super strange beginning.
Yeah.
This central idea of like a quest for enlightenment.
Right.
And a production that was just chaotic from day one.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
What about the story itself, though?
Right, good question.
Like, what's the actual narrative that holds all this craziness together?
So basically, the Holy Mountain follows this Christ-like figure called the Thief.
The Thief. Okay.
And he goes through all these bizarre and unsettling scenes, just packed with religious and sacrilegious imagery.
Okay.
And eventually he meets this mystical dude called the Alchemist.
Oh, wow. And who plays the alchemist?
Jodorowsky himself.
Of course he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. So the alchemist introduces the thief to 7 other characters. These super wealthy, influential people.
Okay.
And each one represents a planet in our solar system.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting.
And then this group of 9, they go on this journey to find the Holy Mountain.
Okay.
Because they're all searching for immortality.
Right. Classic quest for immortality.
Exactly. And the alchemist lays out their goal pretty clearly.
Oh, yeah. What does he say?
He says, we are going to assault the Holy Mountain.
Oh, wow.
And rob its wise men of their secret to immortality.
Ambitious.
Very ambitious.
Yeah.
But here's the twist.
Right.
To do that, they have to become wise themselves.
Interesting. So it's not just about taking something. It's about changing yourself, too.
Exactly. And it's interesting how the focus of the story kind of shifts, too.
Oh, yeah. In what way?
At first, we're really focused on the thief.
Yeah.
But then as the film goes on, he becomes part of this group, this diverse group, all looking for enlightenment together.
Right. They become a collective in a way.
Totally. And all that weird stuff that happens to the thief at the beginning before he meets the alchemist.
Yeah.
It's not just random, is it?
No, not at all.
What's that all about?
It's actually a commentary on like all the problems of modern society.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Jodorowsky uses those surreal scenes to critique things like materialism and corruption and spiritual emptiness.
So he's really trying to make a statement about the world.
Absolutely.
I'm really starting to see why this film is so unique.
It's a lot to take in, that's for sure.
It is.
And it wasn't just something you passively watched either.
What do you mean?
Especially for the actors.
Right.
Like this whole idea of a production of consciousness.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So for 3 months before they even started filming, Jodorowsky had the main cast doing this intensive training.
Oh, wow.
At the Orissa Institute.
What's that?
It was the spiritual group.
Oh, okay.
That focused on enlightenment.
Interesting.
Through all these different practices.
So it was like spiritual boot camp.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
So it wasn't just about learning lines, it was like this deep immersion, this spiritual prep that became part of the film itself.
And Jodorowsky himself wasn't just a director,
Right. He wasn't just calling the shots.
He actually said, I want to be a master.
Wow, like a spiritual leader.
Yeah, he like fully embraced the role.
Wow.
He studied, he dressed the part.
That's intense.
He really wanted to embody it.
And did it work? Did people see him that way?
Oh, yeah, he had this huge influence over his followers.
Really?
Even people who were skeptical at first.
Wow.
Like Lenny Gaines, who was there to kind of manage the money for Alan Klein.
Right.
Even he said it was like the heaviest trip that anyone here has ever been on.
Wow, so he really bought into it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It is.
And Jodorowsky's own life is just as interesting.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
He was raised as an atheist.
Oh, okay.
Son of Russian Jewish immigrants.
Uh-huh.
And he was bullied a lot as a kid.
Oh, wow.
So he was always kind of an outsider.
Right.
And I think that made him super open-minded
Yeah, I can see it.
He was constantly learning new things.
Yeah.
The source material mentions his library.
Oh, yeah.
It was huge.
Wow.
And after Fando Elise came out,
Uh-huh.
a friend gave him a copy of the Book of Zohar. And that got him really into the occult.
So all these different experiences, they all fed into his films.
Absolutely. And that blend of influences, that mix of obscurity and thought-provoking stuff.
Yeah.
And that dark humor.
Right.
That kind of cynical but insightful way of looking at things.
Yeah.
It really resonated with a specific audience.
Who was that?
Like the younger, more intellectual counterculture.
I see. So they were really drawn to his films.
Oh, yeah. They loved him.
It's fascinating how certain films attract certain groups of people.
It really is.
And that brings us to The Holy Mountain as a cult film.
Right. What makes it a cult film?
Well, there are a few key characteristics.
Right.
Usually you have like a really passionate fan base.
Yeah.
Almost like their own subculture.
Okay.
And they watch it over and over again like it's a ritual. And there's this excitement around the film, you know?
Yeah.
And people participate actively.
What do you mean by that?
Like they'll quote lines or dress up as the characters.
Right. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I see.
And another thing is, cult films, they usually don't do well financially at first.
Really?
Yeah, they can be low budget or even big budget flops that only find their audience later on.
That's interesting.
And The Holy Mountain, it definitely fits the bill.
How so?
It has a super dedicated following. I mean, it even influenced people like Kanye West.
Wow, okay.
And Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
And John Lennon.
Wow. That's a pretty diverse group.
It is.
And it's one of those films you have to watch multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
To even start to understand it.
Definitely.
And the fans are so enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, they love it.
And it really makes you think.
Right.
Like it forces you to look inward.
Yeah, you can't just passively watch it.
Right.
You have to engage with it.
Totally. And even though there's not a lot of dialogue, the lines are so memorable.
What's a good example?
Like you are excrement.
Okay.
You can change yourself into gold.
Wow, that's a good one. Right. And that minimalism with the dialogue, it's on purpose.
It is. How come?
Jodorowsky wanted the focus to be on the visuals.
Oh, okay. So not so much on the words.
Right. Like he wanted to bypass the rational mind.
Interesting.
And speak directly to the subconscious.
I see through images and symbols.
Exactly. It's like the idea of silencing the ego to reach enlightenment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which brings us to the psychoanalytic perspectives on the film.
Oh, yeah. What about them?
Ideas about like the unconscious and pleasure and identity.
Yeah.
How do they help us understand the Holy Mountain?
So psychoanalysis is all about the unconscious mind, right?
Yeah.
And how it shapes how we see things.
Right.
So when we apply that to this film, we're basically looking at how our own unconscious desires and fears and experiences, they all influence how we interpret those crazy images.
So everyone's going to see it differently.
Exactly. No, two people will have the same experience.
And the act of watching it can actually change you.
Yeah, on a subconscious level.
Right, those shocking and unconventional images.
Yeah.
They make you rethink everything.
Absolutely.
Like your whole view of humanity.
It's like a challenge to your perceptions.
Totally. And there's something kind of cathartic about that, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like you're confronting these primal human experiences.
Yeah.
And these anxieties that most films just ignore.
Right, because it's too heavy, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But The Holy Mountain just dives right in.
It does.
And it presents this idea that you have to let go of your ego to reach enlightenment.
Which really speaks to that cult audience who are already looking for a more conscious way of life.
Right. They're already on that path.
Totally. And the film also plays with gender roles and sexual identity.
In what way?
It like blurs the lines in some really unexpected ways.
Interesting.
But we also have to acknowledge that there is some objectification of women in the film.
Right. That's an important point to make.
It is, and it's tricky.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, the film challenges gender norms. But on the other hand, it does present women as objects sometimes.
Right. And do you think Jodorowsky was doing that intentionally?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But the source material suggests that he might have been trying to draw attention to it.
Oh, okay, like as a critique.
Yeah, maybe even hinting at a future where those power dynamics are reversed.
That's an interesting interpretation.
Yeah, it's definitely open to interpretation.
So we've gone on this wild journey with this film.
Yeah.
Kind of like the characters themselves, you know?
Yeah.
And then we get to the ending.
Right.
And it's not your typical Hollywood ending at all.
Not even close.
Like it completely breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, the illusion is shattered.
And then we hear those famous last lines.
What are they?
It is a film.
Okay.
Zoom back camera. We are images, dreams, photographs. We must not stay here.
Right.
Prisoners.
Okay.
We shall break the illusion. This is Maya.
Goodbye to the holy mountain.
Real life awaits us.
Wow. That's powerful stuff.
It is. And what's Jodorowsky saying there?
He's saying that real life,
yeah,
true, authentic existence,
yeah,
it starts when you let go of your ego.
Right, like we were talking about before.
Exactly. Like, that's the ultimate goal of enlightenment.
And he made this film as a way to help people do that.
To become more self-aware.
Yeah.
And then we see that last image.
Yeah.
The snowy mountains just dissolving into white light.
Beautiful.
And the source material says that Jodorowsky was really happy with it.
He was.
Said, it looks like a $10 million production.
Even though it wasn't.
Nope.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And it really shows that the Holy Mountain is like the ultimate cult film.
Yeah.
It was made for a specific audience, and it was Jodorowsky's way of expressing his own unique view of the world.
And you really have to watch it multiple times to get it.
Yeah, to unpack all those layers of meaning.
Right.
And those strange but powerful images.
Absolutely. So to wrap up this deep dive,
yeah,
we've explored the Holy Mountain.
We have.
As this really unique and challenging film.
It is challenging.
It's rooted in spiritual and philosophical ideas.
Yeah.
It was made by this incredible auteur.
Right.
And it has this devoted cult following.
They love it.
And at its heart,
yeah,
the film wants to make you think.
It does.
It wants to shift your consciousness.
It wants it to wake you up.
Yeah. Which leads us to a final thought for you, our listener.
Okay.
I'm listening. What are the illusions in your own life?
Good question.
And what would it take to break free from them?
Interesting.
Think about Jodorowsky's message, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe this deep dive will inspire you to check out his other work.
That's a good idea.
Or to explore more cult films.
Yeah, or just to think about things differently.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
It has.